This is a very quick pattern adjustment, probably rather than a pattern hack, for Mrs. H's Squiffy bag. This is the Squiffy bag. As you can see with this one, I chose an all over print. So that means that I can just cut the pattern out and it's ready to go. So a directional fabric would be a fabric with a pattern that's running in just one direction, such as this squirrel's one. You haven't got any upside down squirrels, you haven't got any squirrels facing sideways. And here's another example. These flowers by Anna Maria Horner, they're all facing the same direction. There aren't any upside down ones. So this pattern is great for a ditzy print, but what if you want to use one of those pattern fabrics? And there seems to be more and more of them these days. I have a little adjustment to the pattern. So this is the main outer pattern. You could do this with the lining as well, but I'm just going to show you on the outer because I tend to use quite simple linings in my bags. So once you've glued everything together, what you're going to do is figure out where the fold is going to be for the flap. So that's going to be where that little corner cutout is here. And that will run all the way to the corner where it meets the straight here. So what I did was I folded it down and then I marked those corners on the back. I don't know if you can just see. Just mark them like that. And then I used this piece with that flap folded down to cut out the first piece of fabric. So once you've folded the flap down, and you've got the little marks on the back, I like to mark it out on my fabric. So I marked all the way around, excluding between these two dots. That's the whole point of leaving those dots. And then when you get to those bits, you want to mark 1/4 of an inch above there. So I have a little tool for that. This is like 1/4 of an inch wide kind of rod. So I literally just laid it across the fold and then I drew along that line and then I just made the seam allowance meet up with the other lines. And then I cut that piece out and it looks like this. So I have that little bit extra along the top there. I've got that little bit that sticks out. I don't know if you can quite see it, but I have a little extra seam allowance at the top there that sticks out. Now you need to cut out the flap. What you want is for your flap to be showing the fabric the right way up. So what we're actually going to do is cut this upside down. So with this piece, you can either actually cut your pattern piece off if you find it more helpful along that folded line rather than fold it, or you can just fold that up and then cut on your fabric upside down. So let me just give you my piece as a visual. So your fabric is going to be that way up if you're using it folded like this. And you're going to draw, so you're going to be drawing like this. This is kind of going to be folded back so you can actually draw all the way around the flap apart from the folded edge. And then once again you're going to add 1/4 of an inch with your little marker or with another ruler. And then you will have a piece that looks like this. So that edge there is 1/4 of an inch bigger than the actual where the fold would be, and that's just to add seam allowance to both pieces. So then you're going to go to your machine and you're going to sew the flap to the main body with 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. So I'm aligning that little slopey bit with the bit that sticks out like that. And then when you finish your seam, you'll find that your needle comes out right where that little joint is. Like this. So when you open that up, those will be upside down, and that's correct. So we just need to press that seam. So when that seam's all nicely pressed flat, your piece will look like this. And then you're ready to cut out the rest of your interfacing. Do that with the full pattern piece. You don't need to do that in two separate pieces, just the outside fabric and maybe the lining if you wanted to with the lining piece as well. So if you like this tutorial, I will be doing a lot more bag hacks, and I already have one for the Boon wallet. So please subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more of those.